Sacha, just from a Flyhalf perspective, James Connor produced a blast from the past last weekend, and just in terms of how would you deal with that this week, judging from last week's performance?
I think, I think he had a solid game. I think in the first 20 minutes he kind of felt what we were about. So just bringing a replica of that, I think would do us good. And obviously those passes he was getting over the top, we've analysed why that happened, how that happened, and we think we've got the solutions to stop that from happening. So I wish him a solid game, but I think we'll be able to tie him down a bit better this week.
Sacha, I know you said you'd ideally like to focus on playing fly-half and honing your skills on that, but when the 6-2 split comes into play and you have that versatility, does that sort of ease your mind in terms of just following that growth path that's been set up?
Yeah, of course. And I think also the difference with having, the big dogs like Alejandro Pollard here, there's a ladder that you have to climb. And I think just learning from guys like him whilst juggling the act of 12 and 15, I think it only grows my game. And to put on a Bok jersey is special every time. So whether it's a 23 or 22 or 12 or 15 or 10 on my back, 6 on my back, whatever can help the team and help me get a cap for the Springboks.
Sacha, Australia seemed to have a little bit of success in terms of getting around the rush defence a little bit. You mentioned also James's passing. Has that been a chat with you guys and an adjustment that you think you guys should consider?
It's definitely been a chat because we wanted to figure out why what happened. We have a defence system where we enforce pressure on the opposition, and sometimes you have to concede a few meters on the edges, and that is something we know about, and it's nothing that's new to us. So we haven't focused on it too much. I think there were system errors leading up to those bridge passes that really caught us in that position. So those are things we looked at fixing. But sometimes we're going to have to give the opposition the bridge pass, and we're going to scramble like we always do and catch them on the next phase.
Sacha, I remember probably a month or so ago, Rassi talking about when you were getting a run in 10, something about like 80% Bok Flyhalf, 20% Sacha. He's trying to encourage the kind of Sacha flair and giving you that freedom while also focusing on the kind of traditional strengths of the Bok 10. How have you internalized all of that? Do you feel like you're getting back to play with the freedom that you want?
Yeah, I think it's going to take a bit of time, and I think coach is spot on. We saw this weekend what happens when you drift away from our system and our structures and our fundamental things that make us a successful team. So that's definitely something I'm trying to hone into. It's been a focus point for the last week or 2 or 3, and it's something I'm constantly growing into, and something that I'm going to be patient with and try to do as best I can, because when you enforce the Bok fundamentals, that's when the team really thrives, and that's when we put ourselves in positions we want and the opposition in positions they don't want.
Sort of building on that, Sacha, the way that the guys sort of fell away in the second half last weekend, have the coaches sort of now asked you guys to maybe given you guys a bit of orders to play a certain way when you come on in that second half to make us the certain desired impact that they want, rather than giving you maybe more freedom that you guys are used to?
I must say the coaches really treat us like adults, and most of the guys are adults in this team, full grown men, except like me and like Ethan and a couple of the other boys, Yana. But look, they never really hammer us down on what not to do in terms of playing what you see and seeing space and things like that. But of course they've tried to re-emphasize our traditional way of playing, and I think the better we can take that on board, the less they'll have to speak about in the second half, and we'll just go out and do that ourselves, because unfortunately they're not on the field with us, and we have to kind of put our hands up when we don't bring our part to the party. And I think they've done an excellent job this week of giving us the best shot possible.
Surely a lot in your role as coming off the bench depends anyway on the state of the game. I mean, you could be coming out to help close the game out, or you could be coming out to chase it. So I mean, that your whole approach would probably be sort of on the hoof, if you know what I'm saying.
Yeah, I could also be coming on for injury. I experienced that against Ireland last year. So, yeah, there's a lot of situations. I think just sitting next to the 9 on the bench and kind of staying in touch with Felix Jones on the side, that sets you up the best for whether you're coming on the first minute or the 79th minute. But just staying in touch with the game and seeing what the team needs and where the team's at, I think if I can do that along with the other guys on the bomb squad, I think we'll be right to go.
Guys, just a heads up, 2 minutes left. If anyone has, for vloggers, if anyone has a question for Ruan, do it now, please.
Ruan in terms of the Afrikaans.
Later, but for vloggers.
Okay, cool.
Can I-
Yeah.
Ruan, just on the line-out specifically, you've been called in ahead of quite a couple of senior guys. How are you embracing that challenge that's going to be there on Saturday?
Yeah, no, it's obviously, first of all, after the weekend, you gotta give credit to Australia. I think they were brilliant in that department, and it's not just the guys that were on the field. It's a whole squad. All of us as locks does the plans together on a Sunday evening. So it's not just the guys that were on the field. It's me, RG, that weren't playing also. So. It's just definitely one that we have to take on the chin and just make sure this week we execute our plans much better.
Is this the first time that you're playing alongside Orje or starting alongside Orje, and is that something you're looking forward to? And have you sort of been given license to empty the tank, you know, within the first 15 minutes when you know that you've got Ewan and Nortje ready to come on very early in the second half, you know, with the bomb squad?
Yeah, no, it's my first time starting with RG. Really excited about the opportunity to play alongside him. He's also been at the Bulls a few years ago, and I always wished to play with him. I think we play, we can feed off each other a lot. So I'm personally very excited for that. And yeah. Like Sacha said, always when you put on a jersey, for me personally, it's just whether I play 10, 20 or 80 minutes, it's all just doing what makes me, what makes my game good is my work rate. So I just want to go out and empty my tank every time I can. Yeah.
Thanks, guys. Vloggers off. After this.